Hello all and welcome back to another video and another speed build. In this one I decided to set myself a bit of a challenge and I wanted to make a row of traditional English terrace houses. The reason I decided to do that was they're literally everywhere in the UK. You cannot move without seeing one. They are in every corner where there was industry, where there was people, especially after the Industrial Revolution, however many hundreds of years ago, where there was people, where there was products being made, there's terrace houses. Because the easiest way to put your workers, to keep them housed, was in a 2 up, 2 down. If you were lucky, you had one to yourself. If you were not lucky, you shared it with another family. You didn't have any indoor plumbing, none of that. But I've done them as if they were still lived in 2020. So they have their indoor plumbing, don't you worry. So they have all the amenities. You can play them through use it in the roommate system. So obviously you make a family, pick whichever one you prefer, and then you should be able to move roommates into the other ones and just lock the doors to make sure that they can't obviously go into the properties that you don't want them to go into. I tried to do them all as if they were slightly individual as well, because obviously nobody is the same. So you've got your one house that they've had it rendered so it's white. It's got the black windows because the couple that were there think they're a bit chic. I just tried to give everybody a different personality. You've got an older person that lives on the end terrace, so that house is obviously, as an older person would live there. You could do a couple if that's the house you wanted to play with, something like that. Then obviously you've got the house next door to them, which is the white one, where they're a bit trendy. You know, they've probably got older children, if any. Very modernly renovated, as well as you can with a mid-terrace. Then we've got the house next door to that, which I imagine that would be just a normal family. No, just living their lives. They've renovated it. I have put some extensions on a couple of the back of them, mainly the 2 middle ones, just because that is a trend that does happen. I remember when we were house hunting, we looked at a few terraces because that's the kind of area we live in, where there's a lot of them, and quite a lot of those are extended at the back, either a double extension or just a 1 level extension. So they've had an extension, the third house in, just a bottom extension to make their kitchen bigger. And then the house next door to that, I imagined it would be a young family. So their house is double extension to make it bigger for everybody. And then the extension at the end, it's just the normal terrace, normal fam, as it were. This video is just the outsides. So I built the exteriors, changed the windows about 25,000 times. And the front doors, because I couldn't decide. I knew which front door I wanted to use, which was the ones from Strangerville, because depending on where you live in the UK, it depends on the style of terrace house that you get. I'm from the Midlands. I live in the West Midlands. I live in the area where the Industrial Revolution started. We have the bog standard 2 up, 2 down. Know what they would call period features. It was somewhere where you housed your workers, just to say you did, before they went off and worked in your factory for like 12 hours, or down the mine for 12 hours, or something like that. Certain people, the southerners, no offence to us, but they've got slightly nicer terrace houses that are decorated and have all the period features and the nice windows and the flooring and all of that. They're not those kind of houses, because they're not the kind of houses I see every day. So there you go. I can't remember the point of what I was saying here. I forgot why I started going on this tangent about different kinds of period houses. But yeah, so there you go. You've got obviously small front garden. That's quite standard of a terrace house, if any. A lot of the ones in the area where I'm from, they don't have any front garden. Your front door is on the road. But you can't do that in The Sims. So that's why I did this one. And then you got all, as it is. There is a couple that I have, while I was editing this video, because I haven't finished this yet. I'm doing it house by house, so I don't know if the following videos you'll get will be one house, one video, or whether I'll do a couple of houses in one video. It depends how long it takes me to do them, to be honest. But when I was editing the video, there was a couple of things that I thought, I might quickly go in and change. So you'll see that when you hopefully watch the following ones, which shouldn't be too long. I'm getting through it. But yeah, so these are the extensions on the back. Very, very common to do because it just frees up a lot of space. I live in a 1930s old council house, and that's extended because they just don't have enough room. That is the unfortunate consequence of living in the UK, where there's too many people, and by the time they thought about building us proper houses, there was no room. So we don't get acres of land like everybody else in the world. But yeah, so it is a bit of a mission, but we'll get there and you'll see it. Each house will have, hopefully, slightly different personality, just to show the different people that will get there. This is me just putting in the back gardens. I did leave behind those empty, most of them normally. Sometimes, depending on once again where you're from, you might have an alley that runs behind your house. You might not. I might put one in. It depends on how I feel when we get there. But this is the great window change will happen in a sec because I couldn't do it. But anyway, enough about the houses. How are you? How's everything going? Enjoying quarantine? Enjoyed Boz's speech the other day? I didn't watch it, so I don't know what's going on. I still don't know what's going on. I haven't known what was going on literally the entire time. Here's a new thing, been getting very into podcasts, and I think you should all too, because they're very good. So I started just by listening to like a few YouTuber ones, mostly when I'm working in the week, because I'm working from home at the moment, and even though what I do is pretty much a call centre job, I do have a day where I'm off phones to do various admin tasks, so I've been kind of listening to them then. It kind of to fill the background, because when you're used to working in an office of like 200 people, you want background noise. But so that's why I started doing it. So I've still started listening to them. If you've got any recommendations for any good ones, let me know, because I'm working my way through them, and I can't keep waiting for one each week. I need loads of them. There you go. Here you go. Great. This is where I realised, the windows need a bit of changing. There's a lot of packs that have gone into this, so I do apologise that, but it's really hard. If I had to build a base house, which I will probably try and do now that I've said this, if I had to try and build like just a base game house, I think it would be really difficult, because there are many things in the base game that I like. I've got a posh red front door though, so there's that. So yeah, in these videos what you'll see, I do start decorating the back gardens, because I thought I'd do all the exterior at once, but now there's loads of things that I've seen doing this and thought, no, I actually want to go back and change. One thing is that end house, that one window, I never moved it down, and I've got to go and do that because I can't remember if I did it in my other video. I can't remember if I changed the roof patterns to any of these extensions either. So I have to say, also a little bit jazzy, gave them all different coloured fences and gates. So those people that think they're a bit of something in their white house with the black windows, they've got a black fence. They've got a nice blue front door, so I gave them a nice blue fence. Just as something to break it up. Yeah, so as I was saying, that's what started all of this. I was going on about roommates or something. So yeah, you can play it with the roommate system. Make your family. There's nothing stopping you from doing like a big family, because it is not so common anymore, but it's still a thing where your family would all live pretty much within the same street. That happens still quite a lot of places in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else. So you could build like a couple of families, like brothers and sisters with their families, and move them in, and then you can just have the roommates around you. It would be better, I will say, if when they first announced many moons ago now, city living, and they were like, yeah, apartments, and everyone was like, woo, you can build your own apartments. I thought it would be like, I think it was The Sims 2, and they have one called Apartment Life. Let me just check if that's what it was called, because I know I don't own it. I know it's different from Nightlife, or maybe it was Nightlife. Sims 2. Sorry, I'm just googling it. Apartment Life. Yeah, it is a thing. So in The Sims 2 Apartment Life, it was the last extension pack that they did, and you could basically build an apartment on any lot, in any neighbourhood, anywhere. You could build things like a terrace house, and you would just get your sim to pick the house they wanted, and then the game would automatically move neighbours in. Or you could build like an apartment complex or something like that, and so when they announced City Living, I was like, woo, yeah, we'll be able to do things like terrace houses and blah blah blah. And then you couldn't do that. But the roommate system, now that came in university, you can now do that. So you could do that too. Oh, I do change them. There you go. I've just noticed. I'm pointing at the screen again, like you can see me. I changed the roof obviously at some point, and then forgot, and then didn't realise when I was editing it that I'd done that. I did put multiple mailboxes in this as well, because that's just not something we have in the UK. Like, some people do have exterior mailboxes, but I would say like 95% of people, if you did a survey of everybody in the UK, their letterbox is just on their front door. Or, like, obviously, unless they live in flats or apartment or something, then obviously it wouldn't be. And I put £5, one for each house, because I thought it looked good. But if you did do it in the apartment, in the roommate system, I don't know which one they would use. So you could delete that. Just so it's the one outside your house, you are the postmaster controller. So, as you can see, we're doing one of the gardens now. This is for the house that I imagined an older person or couple to live in. It's kind of based on my neighbour's garden, to be honest, next door. She's an older lady, she's in her 90s. It's just grass with a patio and about 50,000 trees. I obviously couldn't do 50,000 trees in this garden because it's not big enough, but it's there. Now, these are the couple in the White House, which that's what they would be called if you was their neighbour. Let's face it, unless you was their mate. They seemed like hot tub people to me, which you take from that. And it gave me a good opportunity to use I was determined to get those bobbly trees in, but I couldn't do it. It gave me a good opportunity to use the 20th anniversary hot tub, because I don't put hot tubs into my builds, and my Sims don't play with them because I personally don't like hot tubs. So why would my Sims have them? But yeah, they seem like garden entertainers. So they've got like their barbecue coming in now, and they've got their patio furniture, and not that one. That's the one I was not there either. That's the one I was going to go for. But I'm taking my time to... No, not that one either. That doesn't have a matching swatch in the chairs. That's what I was going to go for, that one. But that black table, which I think was from the patio... I wish I would learn the names of some of these packs. The patio one doesn't have a matching swatch in the chairs. Like, what's the point? Because nothing else matches with it. EA, answer for your crimes. So I just went with this one. It matches the theme. I bet you can't guess what their colour scheme's going to be in the house when I get there. Bet you can't guess. Yeah, probably will be black and white. I do need... This will probably be the garden that I end up changing when I come to the house. Just because I'm doing the house and then I'm play testing them house by house. I don't know if that swing... Not this one, sorry, I'm changing it. I don't know if that swing set will work because I've sized it down. But there just isn't any small children's play area stuff. Like just a singular swing or a normal slide. I think they need to do something with that. They need to change some of the packs. Not change some of the packs. What am I on about? They need to add more children's things in like that. Like in previous games, you have had just normal playground equipment. So you have had just normal stuff like a playground and slides and swings, and it just seems to totally be missing from this. And they need to change that. So when I was decorating the garden of this house, I thought, do you want to know the reason why I didn't put a bin there? Because in my head, I thought that the Sims had bin men. And I was like, oh, the bin men might be able to get to the bin if it's in the back. And then it was only afterwards that I remember they don't have a bin. So when I was decorating the garden for this house, I thought, oh, actually, that would be nice if they were... It's like this could be a house for like 2 friends or siblings. They could be renting it or something like that. So that would probably be how I decorate it, as if it's 2, brother or 2 sisters, or 2 friends. That's the vibe that I was getting when I was doing their garden. It's low maintenance, which makes me think that maybe a landlord has something to do with it. It's all paved, so there's no grass to cut. Bit of ivy at the back, just to give it a bit of something. And they've put some pots in to make it their own, But we'll see. We'll see once again when I get there. I have to try and not decorate these houses how I like them, which is all white and grey. I have to try not to do that. So I'm putting some sparkly... I might change those actually, because I've now just come into my head, if you heard that pause, why didn't I just size them up or size them down so they fit? So don't judge me off that, please. Thank you. And this is one of those cases where I was going through it looking for something else, and I found all the decorations that I would like to put in other people's gardens, and then I found them. So here you go. We're putting them in. What is the name of that patio? So if it's not Perfect Patio, that house, the white one, guaranteed. This was me trying to use the same like concrete out the back as I did out the front, like it was such a big deal. And me having ideas for other houses as I was going. I'm so disorganised when it comes to like building and stuff like that, because I just find stuff that I want to use and then I never do it. Or not I never do. What the hell am I going on about? I get distracted and I put them in. Because then I see something like that and I'm like, well, that looks nice in this garden. Because I can imagine the parents with all the kids were like, yeah, let's grow sunflower seeds at school in the UK. I know I didn't when I was a child. You grow a sunflower seed at school in a pot and you all look at it every week when you're in year 1 or 2. That's what I thought that was. So the house down the back there, they've just got a normal house. Once again, it will probably change, because while I've been editing, I've looked at it and I thought, nah, I could have done better than that. But it was just kind of to give myself... So when I go back, I'm like, what was I doing on this house? I remember the theme. These are just the nice family on the end, because that's how we name our neighbours in the UK. If we don't learn their names, we call them this family there. But I don't even think I like the pink and the orange anymore. But there you go. Just doing the last few decorations. I might change one of them as well so they have a loft conversion, because obviously that is quite popular in houses like this as well. But we're all done and dusted. I hope to see you in the next one when I do it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Bye.